Here in the vast expanse of Eastern Europe, a new season of conflict has dawned. Winter 2024-25, not just a battle with cold, but a stage for an unforeseen shift. For months, the world watched grinding attrition on the front lines. While attention fixed on trenches, something else broke within Russia. Not artillery, but silent cracks in the nation's power, the energy sector. A new, audacious strategy began to ripple outwards. The new Ukrainian strategy was one of remarkable ingenuity, born from necessity and a deep understanding of the opponent's weaknesses. Instead of matching Russia's mass, Ukraine chose asymmetry. It developed a new generation of long-range, precise drones, not crude improvised devices designed to fly hundreds of miles, evade advanced air defenses, and strike with pinpoint accuracy. The immediate consequences of Ukraine's strikes were not felt in the halls of the Kremlin, but on the streets of ordinary Russian towns and cities. The first and most visible sign was long queues at petrol stations. Refinery after refinery was hit, production reduced or halted. Belgorod, Kursk, spread across the country, St. Petersburg, parts of Siberia. To understand the profound danger these strikes posed to Russia, one must look back into its history. The Soviet economy, much like Russia's today, depended on oil and gas exports that money had paid to import goods. Despite talk of diversification, Russia remains a petrostate. A large portion of the budget comes from taxes and duties on oil and gas. Fixing refineries requires specialized Western technology and parts. The government faces an impossible choice: spend on rebuilding the energy sector. In this moment of growing vulnerability, Russia finds itself remarkably isolated. Yet the response from nations like China has been one of conspicuous silence and cautious distance. While Beijing continues to purchase Russian oil, often at a significant discount, it has shown no inclination to provide Russia with the high-tech components which could cut them off from far more valuable markets in the United States and Europe. This isolation starkly contrasts with the support Ukraine receives from its international partners. The bear, for all its roaring, appears to be increasingly on its own. The benefits for Ukraine extend far beyond the immediate economic damage. One of the most significant strategic gains is disruption to Russia's military logistics. Tanks, armored vehicles, supply trucks. The attacks on refineries reduce production of these military fuels. That limits large-scale offensives. Furthermore, the relentless threat of drone attacks forces a massive redeployment of air defense. Energy disruptions can cause power outages and production slowdowns at defense plants. The long-term economic costs. The costs for Russia from these attacks are staggering. The most direct cost is the physical damage to the refineries. Simultaneously, the need to import gasoline from neighboring Belarus or Kazakhstan. This further drains its foreign currency reserves. This often means cuts to long-term investments in infrastructure, healthcare and education. They contribute to broader inflation as the cost of transporting all goods increases. The social strain created by this economic pressure is immense. Beyond the economic and military consequences, the psychological impact of these drone strikes inside Russia is perhaps their most powerful effect. Nightly drone attacks, striking deep within the country, air raid sirens wailing over Nizhny Novgorod, Ryazan satellite images appear. Local resident videos emerge showing massive fires at targeted facilities. Split-screen, official Russian news versus citizen phone video of explosion. People trust unofficial social media reports more than Ministry of Defense statements. It fosters a cynical, disillusioned populace, less likely to rally around the flag. There is a profound and striking irony in this new phase of the war. For years, Russia has wielded its vast energy resources as a weapon. It has used the threat of cutting off gas supplies to intimidate its European neighbours. Now, in a remarkable reversal of fortunes, that very weapon has been turned back against its creator. It is Russia that now faces an escalating internally generated energy crisis, while Europe, through a painful and expensive effort, successfully weaned itself off Russian gas. This makes Russian oil less attractive on the global market, forcing Russia to offer even deeper discounts to find buyers, further reducing its revenue. For Ukraine and its allies, this development is a major strategic victory. The success of the drone campaign strengthens the case for continued and even enhanced support, and instead, the weapon of energy disruption is now being used with devastating effect against Russia itself, potentially hastening the end of the very war it was meant to win. The irony is lost on no one. The energy blackmail that was supposed to be Putin's masterstroke has failed, and instead, the weapon of energy disruption is now being used with devastating effect against Russia itself, potentially hastening the end of the very war it was meant to win. The goal? Make the average Russian feel the cost personally, not as glory but as direct threat to security and well-being. This can fuel internal dissent, quiet refusal to support the war effort, draft evasion, and a growing demand for a return to normalcy. Something big is breaking in Russia right now.